Hi everyone, this is Craig with LazerModels. Today we're going to go ahead and do the video assembly on the van. We've gone ahead and redid the instructions using photos and stuff, so today we want to go ahead and put a new video out. All we've done is changed a couple of the orders of steps, so if you have the old van, you can still follow this one. It will not change any of those things, so don't worry. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing you want to do is lay everything out like this. So once you get these pieces all laid out, really at this point just pause the video and look at it and just lay everything out as we've got it. Some of these have piles of 2 or more. This has 4 in each one of those. But anyway, once you get these all finished, then at that point in time you know where the pieces are when it's time to get them, and it makes it easier. So go ahead and pause and get that done, and then come on back and let's continue. Okay, now that you guys are back, let's go ahead and start. The first thing we're going to do is step 1 in the new instructions. We're going to grab all 8 round tires. And all we're going to do is put a little bit of glue on each one of them and glue them together in stacks of 2. You do not want to use the ones with the large circle. So just the small circles for right now. And if you notice, what I do is I'll go ahead and put a little dot on each side. And then what I do is I put that piece together and I kind of turn it a little bit to spread it around. And that's it. So once those are done, then step 2. Step 3 is going to be requiring two of the sets of tires that we just put together, 1 axle and 2 clips. So the easiest thing to do is put it there. On the axle, you don't need a lot of glue. Just go ahead and put just a little dot and put that towards the outside. So there's no chance of that glue getting spread onto the wheels. And then do the other one. And again, just a little dot of glue. That's all you need. And then set that to the side for right now. Grab the other set and do the same thing. And once you get these put together, just go ahead and make sure that your wheels are still, make sure they're still lined up and they haven't shifted any. Sometimes they're not dry enough and they'll shift a little bit, but that's, easy to fix right now. Okay, so that's that step. Now the next step is going to be the 2 large rings or large tires. Those are going to go on the outside of this, so that's why you had to put it in afterwards. Just put a little bit of glue, not a lot because you don't want to get it to that clip. But again, I just do a couple little dots, and then I just put it on there and I just turn it a little bit. And do that for both axles. Yeah, our goal for 2021 is going to be to any model that has the old style directions, which are just line drawings, is to try to convert them all to photographs. Because a picture, if you see a picture, you believe it took place, and that's the easiest thing to do. So now what you want to do is set your 2 axles here, find your frames. Now it doesn't matter whether you put it this way or this way. It just doesn't matter. What matters is you have to do both of them the same way. So I'm going to move this piece. Let's get it centered a little bit. So if you notice, the larger box is towards this axle. So all I do is a little bit of glue right there, slide the first axle in. You'll know it's flush when it pushes down level with the, not the notch, not the tab, but the rest of the model, the frame. They line up with the flat areas. Once that's done, then go ahead and do the other side. Just like that. Now the next step is going to be, set that out of the way, slide these up. We're going to take this piece here, flip it over for the etchings down. The box, the larger box, is towards the back. And then we need the front. And I put the surfing bumper there. And then we need the rear. Let's slide these out of the way. And I put the one that says LazerModels on the back. So it does not matter what order you do this in, whether you start with the back or the front. Just doesn't matter. So on, well, let's follow the directions. The directions is the back first. So go ahead and put some glue right along those areas. And then a little bit of glue inside the two little tabs. This will slide in against the tabs and against the back piece here. Then a little bit of glue like that. Take the bumper, and the bumper will slide in that slot. Any extra glue, just go ahead and wipe it off. Always keep a tissue around. And then just make sure that it's still pushed down all the way. And repeat that for the front. So the front doesn't have a large lip. So I'm just going to go ahead and put glue in the notch. Take care of both pieces at once. The front piece goes in and goes against the back. Whoop. Like that. Front piece. A little bit of glue like that. Slide this in. And again, push it down. Any extra glue, just wipe off. Now that gets us all the way through to step 11A. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, 11A. So, now what we're going to do is right now this would be the passenger side and this is the driver's side. So what we're going to do is flip the van over, large block towards the back or towards this side. This is going to go on like this. So what we want to do is take a little bit of glue and the 4 little notches right like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Take this piece. These lower tabs are the ones that are going to go in. And just like that. So carefully roll it over and don't lift it by the body, just kind of slide it around like this because everything's still drying. So now we're on step 12A and that's going to be the floorboards. Now on the floorboards, they all have little lines across. These 3 here, you'll set to the side for right now. What those little lines are is it's just really to tell you put glue here instead of having you try to go inside here and do it. So all you're doing is going to go ahead and put a little bit of glue along these lines. And if you do not put the lines down, this piece will be in wrong. And that's the only one that, well, these two you gotta watch, but that's the only one that if you put it in wrong, you've got a real problem. This one will only go in one way, so you just align it to however it goes. This one, you turn it over, and it goes in that lower slot there. This one, if you turn it over, you want the slots towards the front and the other slots facing this way towards the back. So just like that. And then this one, I get a little bit more glue right here, just goes in to the floorboard. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure that they're lined up evenly, and sometimes this piece might have a bow in or out, so if you lean it over and then push down on these like that, and then come back up and then push this one back over against the frame softly so you don't pop the frame out. So that's how those pieces are going to set in there. Now these three small ones, two of them are for back here, one is for the front. These are the ones that'll fill these pieces here. So again, just a little bit of glue on them. Does not take a lot. And they just set inside this area. Now what you want to do is you want to line up the edge right here. So you want to do that with all of these. And again, you don't want to push them that way too far. You just want them flush. That's it, because if you push them too far, you can pop that side off. So right now that gets us all the way to 13A, and 13A is the front seats. So we're going to need those three pieces there. So let's slide this back a little bit. So those three. Basically what it is, this one's going to go onto here, this one's going to go onto here, and then it's going to glue into the slot there. So, a little bit of glue on the side of the tab here. Slide that in, so all the decoration's facing here. Then on the bottom, I always like to put a little bit of glue right at that joint, because it just helps hold it a little better. And then a little bit glue there. Don't go all the way to the front, because the seat doesn't go all the way there. And then once you're done, again, a little bit of glue here, a little bit of glue there, and set it into the tab. Just like that. And I kind of just lean the seat back a little bit just for it's not so boxy looking. Again, do this one. And again, right by the tab there. Set that in place. And again, like I said, I pull the seat back a little bit. That goes ahead and gets us to 14. 14 is going to be putting this piece on. So what I do is I lay it on its side. Now, do not put glue everywhere. Just put glue where I tell you, and the reason why is when this is in place, some of the stuff is exposed and the glue is worthless and looks terrible. So again, the 4 little spots like we did before. And then on the directions, if you look, we put a little bit of glue right along this side. We only do this because the door doesn't have a lot of support to it. And then just set this in place, just like we did before. Now these 2 slots here do not go where the holes are all the way out. The holes kind of line up on this rail right here. So don't worry if they're not sticking out all the way. They're in perfect spot. So at this point in time, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get these pieces out for the next step. But we're going to go ahead and take about a 5-minute break and let all of this dry. So I'm going to come back in about 5 minutes. All right? I'll talk to you soon. All right, now that we've gone ahead and let this dry, We're going to go ahead and put the dash, the steering column, and the steering wheel in place. First thing we're going to do is put the dash in. So let's move those. The dash is going to go into these notches on the inside. And it's going to go in just like this, the curve on this side. So easiest thing to do again is just a little bit of glue right across there. And what I do is I'll feed it in. And then just push it down like that. This is a little more tedious. It's not difficult or anything. It's just tedious. And the best thing to do is put it in from this side and the front. You're going to end up putting glue here and here. And what it'll do is you'll put it in and it just kind of sits in that slot and then up against the front. So it just kind of sits. Let me get it in place. Like that. So I'm going to go ahead and take it out and glue it in. And like I said, it's a little tedious. And then all I'm doing is just pushing up against here just to make it held tight. And that's fine. And then the steering wheel, just right next to the inner opening, I just put a little bit of glue. And then that just sets right like that. And that's it. Now we're going to go ahead and do the windows. Your rear window, thin section, thicker section. The thicker section goes down. Front window, even all the way around, just goes on. So directions start with the front window, so let's do the front window. I just put a little bit of glue on that rail there. Hold the window in the middle. Set it in place and wipe off any glue. Rear window, same thing. Glue on each side of the tab. Remember, thicker section goes down. So just like that. And the windows are in place. Now I say go ahead and let it dry. We can keep going because this here doesn't affect anything, and what we're going to do next really doesn't touch on that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put these doors in. The front doors, driver side, passenger side. These doors have a little tab here and a little tab there, and those are going to go into these holes here. You just can't set it in there and slide it down because of the angles and stuff. So you kind of have to just wiggle it, and it's going to feel like you might break something. I'm going to try to do it where you can see what I'm doing. I slide the bottom one right over the hole and along with this one. And then I just kind of wiggle it. And there it goes. Same with the front one. That one went right in. Ah, that's because the dash got pushed out a little bit. Hang on a second. There you go. Yeah, I happened to push the dash out accidentally. It wasn't dry enough. So, anyway, that's the doors. Then let's go ahead and the two side doors. Right now, they're just going to set in here. Into those bottom holes. I need to this where I can kind of hold this for you. So it's going to look like that. They go into those bottom holes. Now if you can balance it, that's great. The next step is going to be putting this roof on. Now, the roof's going to go, take those out. The roof's going to go and line up 3 pins here, 2 here. These 2 holes are going to be towards the front pin. Okay? The best thing to do is you start, once you get ready, is start with these 3. So you put those in with the glue, and then you kind of lean this out a little bit. Get this door set in and up to the hole and push it down. Now push that door out of the way. Put this one in the same way. What I do is I'll go into the top or the bottom, and then I just lift this up just a hair like that and wiggle it until they're in place. So when I take that off, take these out, and we'll do it with glue this time. So glue here, glue here. Now when you glue the front on both sides, you just don't want to use a ton of glue because you don't want the glue to get inside the door. So set the back side on. You can always reach inside a window to pull it out, adjust it. Now all of this popped down, so I'm going to push this side up, put that door in. I'm just going to push it till it pops in place. This one, set it here, push forward till it pops in place, then reset. Yep, back one fell out now. There we go. So just like that. This piece here, yep, let's make sure, yeah, this piece is the next, along with the surf racks. This will just glue on top here, centered. Just don't put any glue in this area. So if you look here, take it, and so this area just don't put any glue in. So just kind of just like that. I'm going to set it there. Put a little dab of glue in each one of the areas where the surfboards go. Set the racks in place like that. Now next step is going to be the surfboards. Now this might be correct or incorrect, but because we have a pattern on it, we're doing this a distinct way. So we flip the pattern down, we grab the little fins, a little bit of glue on each side, and then we put them in place. The fin curves towards the back. Again, design faces down, fin towards the back. Now, we're going to let these dry, but if you want, most people do their boards like this, but because of the design, we flip them over this way and glue them on. But you don't have to glue them on. So we're just going to set those to the side. At this point in time, your build is done. We have an optional seat for the inside if you want. And so that's what we're going to do now is the optional seat. So you're going to need those pieces. And the first thing we're going to do is glue the side of the base on. That's going to go there. And here. Then the front piece will go on to there. Like that. And then if you flip it over, you can put a little bit of glue next to the tabs and along top of the front piece, like that. And then the seat sets on it. Now at this point, you can go ahead and slide this in and make it removable. If you want to glue it in, because of where it sets, you only want to put glue right in that area there. You don't want to go up this way because it won't hit that little ledge back there. So if you put glue like that, push it in, and just slide it back like that. Okay? So that goes ahead and finishes the instruction video for this model. Thanks for joining us. We really enjoy doing this with you guys, and I hope it helps. My name's again Craig, and I'm one of the owners. My wife and I both own LazerModels. And feel free to visit our website and look at the rest of the models we have at LazerModels.com.